Hello everyone and welcome back to round 5 of our F224 Andrea, Kimi, Antonelli career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the duel in the Formula 1, or I guess F2 crown in this series. We're back this weekend here for the Monaco Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on last weekend's action from Imola, I'll be honest, it didn't go well for us. Yeah, we had our first pointless weekend of the season. We took a big gamble in the feature race after a rough qualifying that saw us start at the back of the field. Unfortunately, the rain didn't come when I expected it to, so we did get a little bit screwed over in that weekend. It means now we've got a 22-point deficit to Paul Aaron at the top of the table, but with Gabriele Bortoletto and Ollie Bearman between us and the Estonian as well, we've got our work cut out as we return to Monaco. Of course, we all know qualifying is important here, but with 2 races decided by our qualifying position, things are going to get even more interesting. Get yourself subscribed if you're new. We're trying to hit 140,000 subs here on the channel, and yeah, let's do this thing. Well, here we are then for the most important qualifying session of the season. Trying to get a lap nailed here at Monaco is no easy feat, but yeah, it'll give you a pretty good spot, especially for Sunday's feature race, and that's exactly what we need there, is chuck the car immediately over that first curb. And yeah, everybody will be looking to try and get their car at the front of the order in this one. It's just dancing between the barriers as we make our way out of Casino Square. Purple through that first sector, which I guess we can't complain about as we try and chuck the car through the hairpin. Oh, no power at all there as you try and get the turbo spooled. That was like a 1980s Formula 1 car. Inability to get off the corner as Paul Aaron then, World Championship leader, moves to the front of the order at the moment. But as always, I'm hoping the second half of the lap here is going to play out better for us than the first as we try and chuck the car up over the curbing. And we are still not a million miles away from our current P1. Franco Colapinto, of course, the Williams star, now moves up into the provisional pole position, but as we chuck the car through over the curbs, we've just got to try and get the lap hooked up there, down into first gear through Larascas. And one more corner to go. Anthony Noakes, get the power down, open up the DRS. You can see we're not far away from Franco Colapinto, but it is only P13. And once again, we've got our work cut out as we head into the rest of the weekend. Well, I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The F2 qualifying times on this game may be a little bit too close, it would appear. Colapinto storms to pole by just 0.06 of a second over Ollie Bearman there, with Crawford and Isaac Hadjar, with Gabriele Bortoletto rounding out your top 5. Zane Maloney, his best shot at scoring points so far this year, lines up in P6. But yeah, 1.5 tenths off pole. The top 16 cars covered by less than 0.2 of a second. The top 20 cars covered by 1/4 of a second. It was only the Tridents that really seemed to struggle here. But we're going to be lining up P13 for both races then. So we're going to have to get our elbows out.
So today, the sprint race, no pit stops, just full-on pace. It's all about speed, daring, and sheer driving skill. What, I wonder, is in store for us today? The Circuit de Monaco is, for all practical purposes, pretty much unchanged since its 1929 introduction. It's strange to consider, but this 2.1-mile lap will take the drivers here around almost an entire country. 19 corners, but not that many opportunities for overtaking. Instead, this is a track that rewards technical skill. It's Formula 2, it is the sprint race. I'm Alex Jakes, Alex Brundle is alongside me. Now Alex, there's no mandatory stop in the rules, but this is Formula 2. Anything could happen.
You go for a little more, a little earlier, using a bit more of that harder compound of the 2 tyres available per weekend in Formula 2 to try to steal a march. And equally, if you have a bit of a bump, not so much of an issue. You're going to have another go tomorrow.
Okay, you know this, but this track needs a lot of downforce, and as such, we're not going to have quite the same top speed as other circuits. The good news, though, is that it's going to make our DRS even more powerful. So try to make the most of it in the race and quali if you can.
Well, here we are then lining up down on the grid, and of course, yeah, no stops planned here in the sprint race. We've just got to try and get our elbows out, especially on lap 1, and try and make some moves. We're on an ART sandwich, it's 5 red lights. And it's going to be lights out, and away we go. They're trying to get the hook up through the first phase of the launch. Amaury Cordeal seems to have done a good job with that, as Victor Martins is going to box me in behind his teammate Zach O'Sullivan as well there. So we actually lose a spot off the start as everybody makes their way up the hill in towards turn 2 and turn 3. We're going to try and have a look back down the inside, though, of O'Sullivan there. It's a little bit of rear locking, kind of chucks the car into the corner for me. I wish there was a little bit more kind of unpredictability with the AI. I want to go into a Monaco Grand Prix scared that we might get absolutely rammed there, as trying to do a repeat of real life, though, around the outside of Ollie Behrman, down through the hairpin. We got yellows out, but look at that. We've really found a little bit of an avenue there. Oh, or I thought we had. Just made contact there with our teammate. Luckily, I think both of us kept it out of the barriers, so we just about lived to fight another day. But that was a little bit scary then. That was more Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly from Monaco rather than Behrman and Antonelli. Those two were able to keep it clean and tidy. The two Frenchmen didn't, although admittedly that was entirely Esteban Ocon's fault that weekend. But as we navigate our way then down through this middle sector and into the final one, obviously 15 laps, it's a very, very long sprint, and main event here is really going to keep us busy as, Amory Cordeal there just makes a little mistake. We nick the wall. I think we'll just about get away without damage there, as it's actually Manuel Correa again, who took the sprint weekend win last time out. Up in prime position at the moment there as Cordeal. He's definitely slower than I want him to be right now. Hopefully we're going to be able to try and line up a move. It definitely seems like the AI don't get affected by the turbo lag down through the hairpins, so no idea what they're doing. My only guess is they're dumping the clutch or something, but you can't hear a spike in revs either. So once again, Cody's desperately need to fix that. But yeah, we've got to be brave around this venue. You can't have any kind of fear, especially when you're going up against someone like Amory Cordeal. You've just got to be able to try and make the move on him. Otherwise, the Belgian will inevitably slow you down. For those of you that aren't maybe so well-versed in Formula 2, he's basically the new Roy Nissany or Ralph Boschung. Spent far too many years. You know he's got no hope of kind of progressing to Formula 1. So he basically is just taking up a seat for yet another year. So we've got yellows out. Someone a little bit further behind ran into problems. Rafael Villagomez. Our first retirement of the day. And based on where he's sat, that looks to be a mechanical failure. Well, the other problem we've got with that turbo lag through the hairpin is it means we can't stay close enough to the AI on one of the best places to actually try and go for moves around this venue, as there is Rafael Villagomez stranded. I think he's racing for Van Amersfoort, isn't he? If I'm not mistaken, but green flags by the time we get back down towards someone. They finally been able to deal with that car there. Can I stop getting oversteer through turn 1? That would be quite nice. At the moment, I just can't seem to do anything. Well, with any chance out of the tunnels seemingly impossible, and we can't really get the run on the AI back down towards turn 1, we're going to have to really get adventurous with where we want to try and make our moves today. I still feel like we can gain a bit of time up over the top of the hill, unless we can get Cordeal out of the DRS range of Franco Colapinto as well in front of him. I mean, out of there, see, over the bump, we do gain a little bit more. Maybe this corner, Upper Mirabeau, will have to be our place to try and go for moves, but we'll keep just trying to throw Amory Cordeal off his line, see if we can force an error out of him. But yeah, I think basically our main hope this weekend, yet again, is going to be, can we do anything when we get into the feature race? I mean, the other opportunity is potentially down into La Rascasse. We tried to have a look down the inside there. We actually got the car fully alongside Cordeal, but again, yeah, just got a little bit unlucky with the contact there, as of course, you know, you're going to have to squeeze the other car when you're going wheel to wheel around this venue, but we've spent already near enough half this race following the high-tech driver. I don't really want to spend the other half staring at his behind. Or with that little bit of battling, though, it does mean Cordeal now has lost the DRS to Franco Colapinto in front of him, so there might be an opportunity this time round if we can just get the run. Again, you can just see trying to get alongside him, but Cordeal, I mean, it probably is the easiest track on the calendar to defend against. And as we try and put the power down, you can see how much this car's moving around underneath us as well. I don't think we got too many problems with the tyres so far, but it's definitely frustrating the fact we can't just quite get it where we want it to. There is again brushing up against the wall up through turn 1, and by the time we get up into towards turn 2 and turn 3, we are too far back from the Belgium again, unless we can get a really nice tidy run through here. I just see there's definitely the potential. This is going to have to be that section of circuit where I go for it. But we've got to be right on his gearbox out of turn 1 and then hang on to it over the bump. I mean, I'm looking at it, how much closer we're able to stay through the exit of Tabac and then in towards these final few corners. But again, just see Cordeal able just to slow down at the right spot, get on the power again, so I just can't really do anything about it. Right, come on, this is the closest we've been so far. Can we have a look down the inside of Amri Cordeal? I mean, that was a touring car style move. I'll hold my hand up and admit, we basically, I mean, we got to the inside. And I mean, yeah, to be fair, Monaco, you've basically got to force the issue, haven't you, if you want to try and make the move. But that means we're up inside the top 10 then. So if we could try and claim fastest lap, I believe we would get the bonus point from this sprint race as well, which would be quite nice. So I'm going to just take a couple of laps, try and get the tyres into a good window. And we're going to try and see how close we can get to it. We've got a couple of seconds up to Colapinto and Crawford in front. I do still feel like raw pace. We are very, very competitive here. But ultimately, yeah, up to this point, it hasn't made enough of a difference where I've got the confidence to really attack those other cars. I believe fastest is currently by Ratomo Miata, who's having a good run of Monaco luck so far this weekend, as well, apparently brushing up against the barrier through turn 2 is going to be the way to go.
Need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
Now we've got past Cordeal. Basically, these final 5 laps are a qualifying session. Well, we're just 4 laps to go. Then I very quickly have worked out that, yeah, trying to claim fastest lap is just not going to be possible. The tyres, although they don't fall off quite like they do on the Formula 1 car, they're definitely not giving us enough grip. Well, we can really look for something here. So, yeah, I think unless we can try and get close to Crawford and Colapinto, which is not going to be easy. They're still about 2 seconds in front. And we always lose a good 3-4 tenths through those, well, literally that tiny little straightaway there. Yeah, I think we're going to be bringing the car home in P10. We've learned a lot from this sprint race. Hopefully we'll carry through with us into the main event. But I think, yeah, the main race, we're just going to have to go with a wild strategy that will hopefully leapfrog us up the order. Oh, we've got yellow. Someone, I think that might be behind us. Bit of a shame, but yeah, someone seems to be breaking down late on in the day. I believe that might be a Dam's car. I could be completely wrong, though. Too many of the teams are like a weird shade of blue inside Formula 2, I've decided. Who could that be right towards the end of this one? They're still in the way of a few other cars. Obviously, it's too late for a safety car. It is Kushmaini. So, yeah, UNI Virtuosi, he has blocked both Tridents. But, yeah, like I said, it's too late for a safety car or anything like that. So, Trident now are even further off the back of the field. But, yeah, Kush is out. Well, on to the final lap we go then of the Monaco Grand Prix. Really have just tried to settle in right at the end of this one. And, yeah, a little bit disappointed that once again we're going to walk away with no points here. We've got to desperately try and figure out my lack of qualifying pace inside this game. Because, yeah, it is really, really costing us. Must admit, I've said this for a couple of years, though. I'm not a fan of the F2 format. Kind of working this way. Obviously, there's no real perfect solution to it. But I do kind of wish that, like, I think in the ideal world, you'd run, obviously, qualifying in the feature race on Saturday, and then reverse the top 10 finishers ready for the grid on Sunday. Yes, that would admittedly put us on pole position, which is just a very, very happy coincidence this weekend. But yeah, I think there is just slightly too much reliance on qualifying in this current format, especially if you're outside the top 10. You basically know you're screwed unless something crazy happens. But through the final couple of corners, though, it is going to be Juan Manuel Correa that is going to become our second repeat winner of the year. 2 sprint wins back to back for the American. He is having a really, really good season so far. Out of the final corner, though, it is P10.
What a story! What a man! Juan Manuel Correa takes the checkered flag!
Well, the sprint win's not where the big points are handed out, but it sets them up well for tomorrow and gives a lot of confidence for the longer feature.
Dams, another team with a huge amount of history based right in the heart of motorsport near Le Mans in France. have once again shown their formidable abilities out on the track with yet another win today.
Well, there we go then. Juan Manuel Correa again takes the fastest lap there on. I didn't actually realise how close we were to getting that bonus point as well. We're only a 10th away by the end of the early stages there, but he will take the full 11 points once again ahead of Pepe Marti there. Paul Aaron will further extend his championship lead ahead of Miata, with Maloney, Bortoletto, Hajar and Crawford rounding out your point scorers. What does that do for our championship standings though? Well, it means our gap at the top now up to 28 points, so we have really got our work cut out as we have now lost P4 to Pepe Marti as well there, and with Colapinto and Zach O'Sullivan not too far away either, we might be in real trouble as the weekend goes on. Now it's only Taylor Barnard and Rafael Villagomez that are yet to score after Zane Maloney finally gets his championship off the ground there, and High Tech have a 1 point lead over Prema in the Constructors as well. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back tomorrow when Formula 2 returns ready for the feature.